Hey, Michelle. How's it going? We're recording today on a Monday, so happy Monday. How are you?
Happy Monday. I'm good. How are you?
Feeling great. Feeling great. Michelle, are you a ChatGPT user?
I am. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I use it sometimes, for sure. For brainstorming things, coming up with ideas, lots of things.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning when it first came out, I just kept on saying like, I don't get it. I always have that, I think everybody has that moment with some sort of new technology. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get why this would help me. Because I remember in the beginning, Dan would just use it with his friends to make up funny stories. And he would just say, oh, make up a story. And like, he would have it tell a part of the story and then send it to his friends, and then they would do the next one. And, it was just, just for funny things. But so in the beginning, I was like, all right, whatever. That's his thing.
That's funny.
I don't really have a use for it, but yeah, I didn't get it. But as time moved on, I would hear how other people were using it, and I got way more into having it help me in certain areas of my life.
It reminds me of your comment, what you said that you didn't get it, of, do you know that famous clip from, I think it's the Today Show, I think it was Katie Couric, who was like, have you heard of this new thing, the internet? The internet.
Yes.
Was she talking about email or the internet? I don't know which one it was. But
I don't know.
It's a famous clip, and it's just like,
yeah, so no, I know what you're talking about. Well, it's funny. I mean, I probably shared this before, but I remember when my dad told me about email, and I remember thinking, what? It's just going to pop up and okay, who cares? It's funny how at first your mind is just with, I think, so many different areas of technology. Like, okay, what? Why would I need that?
I know,
and then
we have to
you can't live without it.
And then you can't, and then your brain just shapes around it, right? Around this new thing. And guaranteed that's what's going to happen with AI. Although I think this time around, people are not quite as excited on like a visceral level.
There's
about
a big
AI.
fear.
It's fear, and also just kind of like, okay, more time online. I think with the internet, people were really, like the .com boom and all. People are like, wow, I could order groceries online. This is amazing. I think now with AI, if people are like, I could have a voice coming out of my refrigerator. I don't know if people are quite as like enchanted by AI the way they were about other advances. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll speak for myself. I don't know. I just feel like
I mean, I guess it depends which kind of AI. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, a voice coming out of your refrigerator, that's not that exciting, But there are definitely. I mean, this is what we're going to talk about today. I mean, the one thing that I really don't like, I don't want it to. I'm worried that it will take over creativity, and I don't want to lose that creative muscle. So sometimes I'll say like, I don't want to do ChatGPT. Actually, I was at something the other day, and somebody was making a speech, and they said, "Oh, and I want to thank a person and ChatGPT for helping me write this speech." And everybody just was laughing because but I don't like it in that way. I don't like it to be where we could think of something with our brains and
Totally
now we're just relying on it. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, 100%. So in today's episode, we are going to model for you what you guys could do with a native speaker or a friend as you're practicing your English. Talk about the ways that you use ChatGPT or just AI in general. This is a huge skill to be able to do because everyone in the world is experimenting. Not everyone in the world. Many people in the world are starting to experiment with AI now. Yeah. And so it's a connection skill that's going to come up often, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. And also sometimes you might share a way that it helps you that you think it might be beneficial for someone else.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about this in just a second, but we want to say thank you to Luis Soriano on Spotify, right, Lindsay?
We just read a really nice review from Louise. Thank you so much, Louise. We appreciate your comment, your review. Guys, go to wherever you can rate or review our podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave us a comment, leave us a rating and a review so we know what you think of the show. All right?
Exactly. Great. Yes. So let's get into it. So we're going to share how how to start these discussions.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first thing is, did you know you can use it, right? Whether it's AI, whether it's
Claude,
ChatGPT,
whatever you use.
yeah, to X. So, for example, did you know you can use ChatGPT to get your macros on food? It's been so useful for my diet and exercise plan.
What is macros, anyways? I don't even know what that
I think
means.
I've
never known what that means.
I said it thinking you knew.
Oh no, Michelle. I hope you know.
I think of macros. Hold on, let's see. Macronutrients. Yes,
Okay.
the three main nutrients. Okay, I'm reading from AI. Thank you, AI. Required in large amounts: the carbs, the proteins, and fats. And a lot of times people will track their macros. You'll hear that a lot. You know, they're tracking their macros about what they've been eating and what they might need more of.
It's a very technical term. And did you know you can use AI to rescue yourself in an episode if you don't know the answer?
Exactly. I did know that. But yeah, you could just put in. That's one way people use it. Yeah. They might use it as a food log.
For sure.
So
yeah. I love that. Yeah. Or you could say, I've recently started using ChatGPT for X. So I've recently started using ChatGPT to give me art project ideas for my class. It's so useful. I think it is really good for generating ideas, right?
It is really
brainstorming.
Good for that. Yeah. Yes. I mean, especially for a teacher. I mean, sometimes, you just, the amount of things you're required to think of and be creative. Yeah. Again, you don't want it to completely take over that creative muscle. That's the fear, I think. But sometimes it can help you with that heavy lifting. Right?
They can feel the blank page, as we say, the blank space on the page, right? That's really intimidating. When you're trying to create something new. So it can help you avoid that, and then you work off of that. Another construction here, guys, you might use in a conversation. My favorite thing to use ChatGPT for is 2x.
2x.
Okay. Yep.
So for example, my favorite thing to use ChatGPT for is to get recipes for dinner. Yeah. I just tell it what I have in my house, and it can give me so many good ideas. And I would say, for me, that's like the number one thing I use it for.
That's pretty cool. Because then you don't have to go shopping for all new ingredients. You just make something from what you have, right?
Yeah. Or I'll say, I'll say, I don't have this. Could I substitute it with this? Or there have been certain times when I really was craving a certain food, and I say, I don't have this, but is there something that an idea you can give me of how I can satisfy whatever food I'm craving?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess in the old days, before 2022, before we got ChatGPT, we just went to Google and tried to figure this out, but it would take a lot longer. Right.
And at first I didn't understand. I said, well, how is it different than just Googling? Right. But it's giving you everything in one place. You don't have to search around different sites. I mean, yeah. For that stuff, it's great.
Yeah.
Or you could say, ChatGPT helps me, right? So for example, ChatGPT helps me get design ideas for my house. I can send in a picture and it will respond with lots of ideas. And, yeah, that I will do.
I love that. Yeah, really good. I mean, that's interesting. I'm not really the cook in my house, but if I were the cook in my house, I would totally use ChatGPT for just saying what I have and what could I make from this. I think that's so smart. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. And I got that idea because somebody else made something that was really delicious. I mean, this was probably over a year ago, right? And then told me, that they use ChatGPT all the time for this, and so that's where I got the idea. Now, so that's what I'm saying is that it can lead to that connection. Somebody can give you an idea, then you can share it with someone else to do.
I love that.
But do you use it for any of these types of things or anything in particular?
I would say I use it more for work, for my business, for our business here at All Ears English, for brainstorming ideas.
Yeah.
Even some market research, like competitor research you can pull up.
Yeah.
Or if I'm looking for new logos or images, I can generate ideas or rough sketches for them.
Yes.
That I might then hand to a designer and say, can we do something like this? Right. So you're not starting from scratch. That's what I've been using it for in the last week or so. Yeah. So it's unlimited. It's incredible, Michelle.
It really is. But of course, there's the scary side too.
Yes.
But today we're kind of talking about the benefits.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about this after the break.
Hey, quick question. Do you want to feel more confident when you speak English? If so, we made a free guide for you. It'll help you avoid those common mistakes and start speaking more naturally in real conversations. Go grab it in the description below. And if this is helpful for you, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're here 5 times a week to help you connect in English.
All right, Michelle. So we can do a follow-up later talking about AI and some of the things that do worry us. We can show you new instructions of how to put those sentences together, guys, in a very sophisticated, C1 level way. But for today, what are some questions we could ask people, Michelle?
Yeah. I mean, there's the basic. I mean, do you use ChatGPT?
Yes. Yes. What is the most useful thing you've done with ChatGPT? Right? Yeah, that's really how we have to come up with our own use, is by asking people. Because people are, once I went to ChatGPT and I was sort of using it to kind of dream, because I have a dream of one day going to India, but I would have to work probably. So doing like a Northern India meditation retreat / work remote thing where I could access cafes and work with my laptop, but also have weeks where I'm in meditation.
Great one too.
So I had ChatGPT plan me this whole route where I could actually do that. Cool. It's like to dream,
Yeah, I didn't think of it in that way. See, now now I can do that too. So yeah, and then there are words that you might use to discuss it. Helpful, beneficial, valuable. These are useful. These words that useful. So these can all be helpful. Yeah, I like that dream idea, Lindsay. That's fun.
Really cool.
Yeah. This goes more under the worry box, but is there anything you ever avoid putting in?
I mean, personal data for sure. We don't put any personal data or emails or anything like that. So I would avoid uploading spreadsheets that have that stuff, of course. And then, anything that I just don't want out in the cloud, because it's all out there somewhere, is the way I think of it. I don't know exactly where it goes, flip side, but it goes somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
So,
but if you're using it mostly for recipes and to dream and to, things like these, it's probably okay. And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, or even planning actual trips. Like if you are, like we've revealed that I'm having a baby. So we're going to be taking a trip in the fall to France, to Bordeaux.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we're going to do the...
Good for you.
Getting out there, Michelle.
Good for you. Yeah. That's what we did too.
Yeah.
But then we had COVID.
COVID gets in the way. So, and I feel like whenever we travel, we have constraints. We have special requirements. And how did we address that before with just Google? I don't know. If we go to ChatGPT and we say we're traveling to Bordeaux, but we have a 6-month-old baby, and and then our niece and nephew have allergies to this or something, right?
Yeah.
So these constraints, layers of constraint.
Yeah.
It can handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when it's really, really useful. For parents, for oh my gosh, it can really be the greatest. Let's do a role play.
Okay. So we're eating dinner. You were eating dinner at my house here. All right.
Okay. Here we go. Thanks for having me. Okay.
Sure.
Lindsay, this is delicious.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Do you know where I got the recipe? ChatGPT.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've recently started using ChatGPT for cooking. It's been really helpful.
Oh, I have to try that.
Do you use ChatGPT or AI?
Actually, a little. I mean, did you know you can use it to make travel itineraries? I'm using it for my upcoming trip. It's really beneficial.
I will have to try that. Oh man, I didn't even see our plans down here that we were going to talk about that. I feel like sometimes that happens on this show. We talk about something spontaneously and then it's in the role play.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It happens. Yeah. So you said, I said, this is delicious. And you said, thanks, I'm glad you like it. And then you said, do you know where I got the recipe? ChatGPT.
Nice. And I said,
yeah.
oh, really? And you said, yeah, I've recently started using ChatGPT for cooking. It's been really helpful. And that's one of those adjectives that we listed, like beneficial, valuable, useful, helpful, all good.
Yep. And then I said, I have to try that. And you said, so you kind of wanted to continue the discussion, and you said, do you use ChatGPT?
And you said, actually a little. Did you know you can use it to make travel itineraries? Right. So nice.
And then I said, I'm using it for my upcoming trip. It's really beneficial.
Nice. All right. So again, I mean, I feel like we're hearing about AI in the news all the time, every day. But here, guys, we've given you really practical tools to use this as a fluency building topic, right? Keep the conversation going.
Connection.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got to get with the times, right?
Yeah.
And start using this to connect, because people do get excited about it. Like, I used it for this and I used it for that. And because it's still so fresh and new, there's a lot we can learn. And again, I like this idea of that we'll do a follow-up on how to talk about the things that concern us about AI, ChatGPT, things like that. So that'd be a great episode. So hit follow, and guys, check out episode 2637. That was Can't Get Over It, how to talk about sunsets, concerts, and more. And maybe you'll use it to talk about ChatGPT, right? I can't get over how helpful it's been with my cooking or something like that.
Exactly. And I think the takeaway here is, a lot of our listeners say a big challenge is coming up with topics for conversation, but you don't need to like stress your brain trying to come up with this brilliant topic. Here's a great one that's most people in the world can relate to this, right? Most people have something to say. So don't feel like you have to be so artistic in the topics that you come up with. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no reason that you have to draw a blank. Just pull from what's happening now. Right?
Yes. Exactly. All right, Lindsay. Well, I'm glad we talked about this today. And guys, we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Talk soon, Michelle. Bye.
All right. Bye.